The show is strictly for educational purposes. The opinions expressed on the show are personal to the individuals appearing in the show and not those of Thinking Tree Ecoholics Private Limited. The show is not intended to offend or defame any individual, entity, caste, community, race, or religion, or to denigrate any institution, person, living or dead. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Hello and welcome to Ecoholics, the Thinking Tree series, a platform where we talk about and discuss about different significant issues and strive to seek solutions. We already have a great crisis pondering upon us. The novel coronavirus has impacted the globe with its devastating impact, not just on the lives, but also on the livelihoods. And to discuss about the economic revival strategies, we have a very special guest with us today on our platform. Dr. Jitendra Bhandari is a trained economist from the renowned and esteemed organization, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD. His PhD in his area of international economics gives him a wide scope of knowledge and wisdom about very, very important and significant areas. He has a vast experience of teaching and research for more than 17 years. Welcome, sir. Welcome to
Thank,
Ecoholics, the Thinking Tree series platform. We are really delighted and elated to have you here on this platform with us today.
thank you, Asavri, and I am thankful for Ecoholics for giving me this opportunity. And I must congratulate you for this wonderful initiative. And at this time of crisis, you and your organization, Ecoholics, taking care of your students through people like us. So I must congratulate you. Thank you.
Thank, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And because we have a very significant issue, which is revolving around not just India, but the whole world today, is the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. And this issue is so important that we thought about this theme of how economic revival or recovery strategies should be utilized. So to set the theme and to start with the discussion, I would just start with a very breezy question, which is in every other person's mind today and every other student's mind today. We have heard a lot about COVID-19, but as an audience, we do not have a clear idea as to how grave this possibly the coronavirus is doing to our economy, and what are the major problems or what are the major issues on which this particular pandemic has put its pawn upon. So I would like to ask you about what are these major issues in this particular context?
Well, I think it's a big question, right? So let me try to answer your question, and especially because as you told that you are taking care of students, so
Yes,
I'll try to make it as interesting and as factful, which could be useful for your students, and they can note down some important points as well.
sure.
So we all know that the crisis started from China, right? So it is a health crisis, and health crisis got converted into economic crisis. So this we need to remember. But we need to remember that it started from China. So now, why China is important? It's not only about health crisis. It's not about the virus here. China being one of the most important country, economically important country for rest of the world. So when the crisis started in China, the whole world already started having its impact, economic impact initially. So I would say the sequence was like this: China, the health crisis in China, then the economic crisis. China being the factory of the world, major supplier to the rest of the world. Then the supply chain got disturbed, and then everybody else started feeling the impact of Chinese virus. But it was economic impact initially. But
Mm,
then, unfortunately, the spread it went out and it created havoc all over the world. So then the rest of the world also started having the health crisis. But unfortunately, because of the magnitude of the crisis, because of the nature of the health crisis, it get converted into economic crisis. So I would like to emphasize here two things. It has already impacted us even when it was in China, but then now it is in our country, it is everywhere in the world. So it is again impacted us. So it's a double kind of, twice it has
Yes.
hit us. So that's why I think we need to understand this. And so what happened next? This virus enters into India. So health crisis got converted to economic crisis. Now this is a very unprecedented situation. Why I'm saying it's an unprecedented situation? So of course we are in economic crisis, right? So the government initiated the great lockdown. They didn't had any choice. That was the only option in front of them. But it is the first time it happened, probably to the best of my memory and whatever I have studied so far, that the economic crisis came upon us because of government action. So usually government don't bring crisis, right? Government try
True.
to
Of
solve
course.
crisis, but
Avoid crisis.
this is a unique situation where we are facing this economic crisis because of government action, right? I'm not blaming government by the way. I'm just saying the
Yeah.
nature is such. So what happens?
Yes.
So the economic crisis is now both demand side crisis and supply side crisis. This makes this more difficult. Why I'm saying so? Because otherwise crises are usually either demand side or supply side. So you can focus on one area and then try to revive or solve the problem. But this is a unique situation where your demand is also not coming up, your supply is not there, and the whole economy. And the worst part is that the pandemic is not over yet. We are in a very, very unique situation. Some authors calling it black swan event, though this is not black. So I must, tell this to your students especially. Please don't call it black swan. Though many author or many commentator are calling it black swan, this is not black swan. So the originator of the idea of black swan, Professor Taleb, Nassim Taleb, he
Right.
coined the term black swan, and
Right.
according to him, this is a unique situation, this is a big situation, this is a difficult situation, but this is not black swan situation. So just to give one hint to your students, black
Sure.
swan events are those events which have never happened in the past.
Right.
So some people can say this kind of situation has never happened. So probably they are right. But at least we have this kind of pandemic earlier. For example,
That's
1918
true.
Spanish flu. In that 1918 Spanish flu, 50 million people died and 5 million in India alone. So as far as health crisis is concerned, health pandemic is concerned, this world has witnessed this kind of crisis earlier. Yes, the economic crisis, this kind of economic crisis, we are witnessing for the first time. So this is basically, the introduction as far as this impact of the crisis on the economy is concerned. Yeah.
Right, right. That's actually very true that you said that both demand and supply, both sides have been impacted gravely. And if we talk about India, then we always talk about consumption and consumption-led growth, which every other economist and every other government, I would say, has tried to boost the consumption because it's a consumption-driven demand economy. So now when the economy is low on consumption and the people have almost lost their purchasing power capacity, how do you think that part of the economy can be boosted, or how can the consumption revival be taken place?
Okay, good question. So again, just to inform your audience, so the aggregate demand consists of consumption demand, investment demand, government expenditure, government demand for goods and services, and export and import demand. And it's not only true for India. For every major economy, consumption demand constitute the biggest component, share of aggregate demand,
Yeah.
even for US and almost every other country. Same is true for us also. Probably except Singapore, they are a small economy, so their export import demand is a bigger component of their aggregate demand. Otherwise, it's true for every other economy. So yes, as I have said earlier, that it has impacted the aggregate demand. It has impacted the demand side.
Right.
So now what to do? Great question. So in the spirit of Keynesian economics, we look
Right.
at government, right? So whenever the crisis happens, we think of government to please give us some solution. Now,
Yes.
as I said, now the problem is, as I said in the beginning, the crisis are brought upon by the government itself. Now we are asking from the government only to solve this crisis. Okay, fair enough. The government is doing also, but the problem is, government is in a catch-22 situation. Why they are in catch-22 situation? Economics lesson 101, which we teach to our students, resources are limited. This is the genesis of economics. Because of this statement, economics came into existence. Our resources are limited, and it is true for even for government. So even for government, the resources are limited. So the problem is, with those limited resources, government can help either the consumer or they can help the producer. So they are walking on a tightrope. They are trying to help us, especially the lower middle class, the poor people, by giving them some cash, by giving them free ration or some supports,
Yeah.
etc. The initial package of 1.7 trillion rupees, basically, and I think 500 rupees per month for 3 months or 6 months,
Yeah.
every individual who are living below poverty line, and so on and so forth. But I think what the government of India is trying to do, they are trying little, as per the last package which they announced, they are focusing a little more on supply side. So probably their philosophy is, or their understanding is, let us boost the producer, let us support the producer, because if producer is supported, if they are protected, they will start their business again. And if they start their business again, they will employ more people. If they give employment to people and production and supply, that will bring money to the people, those who are working with them. And with that income, they will consume. So this is what they're thinking. They're trying to solve it through. I'm not saying they're right, but I think it's a different.
That is their procedure,
That that
probably.
that is their understanding so far.
Right.
So far, yeah. So through supply side measures, they are trying to improve the consumption also. Yeah.
Right. And probably, according to different understandings, it is intertwined. Both the concepts are intertwined.
Yes.
And even in economics, we do not keep supply and demand separately.
Yes.
Once we go forward into learning economics more and more, it's always two sides of the same coin.
As
So
we say, circular flow of income and product, right?
right,
Yeah.
totally. So absolutely, that is correct. Then again, if we go on to the onto a very specific question which has been asked by one of our students, I'd just like to read it out. um, One of our students have asked, when the workers lose their jobs, they are likely to drain the savings and increase borrowings. um, so they may delay payments on mortgages and credit, and their credit ratings may decline. That is also evident eventually, and they may become more fearful about the future. So in that scenario, how can we expect to increase the household's ability and willingness to spend? So this is one of the questions which probably students are asking more and more, because of the ideology of consumption-led demand, and because if there's no consumption, because of lack in income, then how are they going to make different borrowings? And if they are not going to repay the loans or the interest amount, then what is going to happen in the future for the households? Especially not just the firms, but the households here is the key. So
Okay.
what would you like to say about this? um,
I,
what will
it's
be
a,
the revival of the
yeah,
households?
yeah. So it's a good question. So I think the role of government, role of banks, and the role of employer becomes more important here. So fortunately, if you notice, and interestingly, I have written also about this in some other article somewhere else. Uh, RBI is very active these days,
Mhm.
and I must congratulate RBI And I must advise your students also to go to the RBI website and all and listen to the governor's speech and their recent monetary policy, etc. They're fantastic. So if you notice, RBI they have already announced the moratorium on EMIs.
Yeah.
So in that way they are helping, right? So earlier it was for 3 months, and I believe probably again they have extended it for next 3 months. So for 6 months you have moratorium on your payments, on credit card payments, on EMI payments, and so on and so forth. Now, so if you have this 6 month space with you to protect yourself,
Hmm.
so in that way, one aspect has been taken care of. And
Yeah.
as right, and as I said, these are testing time. These are
Hmm.
difficult time. So probably we need to relook at our consumption pattern also, right? So
Right.
we have to delay some of our not so important consumption, conspicuous
Hmm.
consumption as we call them,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we need to give priority to some other things. This pandemic is teaching us lesson also,
Hmm.
right? I think what is important, what is not that important, right?
That important. True.
I think in last 2 months we realized that we were spending so much of money unnecessarily also.
True.
That also we
Yes.
have understood. So we can live with little less money also. That is also lesson for us, right?
Right. Right.
So probably we will rejig our priorities. We will look at the budget again, and we will prioritize our spending. We will see where we should spend, where we
Right.
can defer the spending, and
Yeah.
then the policies by RBI and by government. And as I said, government and employer. Government, so far it has not happened, but I am hoping that they will give some kind of relaxation on taxes also, so on
Hmm.
income tax and all. So hopefully if they give, so that will be a relief for the
Hmm.
salaried class and
Right.
employer. So
Right.
employer, see, uh, probably later on we can discuss this in detail.
Hmm.
But why I'm saying employer, see, it's a great situation where the employer has to be more respectful, more careful, more having more empathy.
Hmm.
And I believe in this crisis, the employer who is going to show empathy towards their employees, they are going to be the winner.
Hmm.
They are going to be the winner. So, employer also have this responsibility to support their
Right.
employees as much as possible. I am not saying
Right.
that they should go bankrupt, but if it is
Yes.
possible, they must support and help their employees.
Right.
Right.
Very, actually, that's a very important point because when we say demand or supply or firms and households,
Yeah.
these in economics are there are always phases. So one time one wins, the other time the other wins. So
Yeah.
it's always like striking the balance between the two things. But
Yeah.
over here, in such a crisis where every party loses,
Mm.
that is something that the empathy part is really something that every entrepreneur or every businessman should
Right.
catch on to.
Yeah.
And now coming on to we talked about the households and rebudgeting, and of course now everyone requires to budget their
Mm.
charts so that and their luxuries so
Yeah.
that to analyze what actually is of great necessity. Coming on to the next part, next phase of economic aspect is entrepreneurs. Now we are seeing that there were a lot of startups because eventually in the last 5 years we have had a lot of startup companies which had came up and given the government policies, they were really trying really hard to sustain because they had a lot of ease of doing business. So it was a nice time back then, but it, now according to the crisis, now these entrepreneurs are having a lot of issues. And the theory of innovation says that there has to be continuous, innovation and discovery into seeking something new. But now that we are facing such a scenario of the pandemic, how do you think the entrepreneur can adjust to it, or what key things on the entrepreneur who's trying really hard to sustain and survive his business should do in such a scenario?
Okay, great question. So, first of all, I think again it's a lesson. So, as you have rightly pointed out, that entrepreneurship, the buzzword was entrepreneurship, and every third person tried to start his or her own business. Fine, there's nothing wrong in that. But I think even without this pandemic, even without this crisis, we should remember, and I really feel bad that this is not being told to the budding entrepreneurs upfront. Not that after listening to this they should stop thinking, but it is important to know. For example, 90% startup fail. It's a fact, even without this pandemic, right? So we need to be
Right.
careful, right, before entering into this venture. And as the great author Schumpeter have said, the capitalism inherently it's a creative destruction.
Right.
Things will have to die. Unfortunately, because of this pandemic, the process has fastened. So, right. So
True.
it will be there. So one must have to accept it. Now, in fact, I would say, uh, though I don't like this kind of statement, it's a cliche, but for because it will serve my purpose. So every crisis brings opportunity as well. So I believe this kind of crisis, especially for young entrepreneurs, especially for small entrepreneurs, they have the opportunity to rejig their business model and see the space, see the opportunity which is emerging because of this crisis. For example, hand sanitizer. For example, PPE kits. For example, giving some safety material. For
Yeah.
example, in online, a
Mm-hmm.
huge opportunity has opened up in online media and all those things.
Right.
So the opportunities are also there. And if I go a little beyond that, those who are existing, and so I call it triple T approach: trust, transparency, and technology. You need to trust your employees, because if you trust your employees must trust you, your supplier must trust you, your buyer must trust you, then only they will buy. For example, Zomato. Now you tell me their whole business now boils down to trust.
Yes,
So
that's true.
absolutely true for Zomato. What about Uber? If I want
Mm-hmm.
to use their cab, it is the trust on Uber that this cab is safe.
Yes.
So whether you are a buyer or you are a supplier or you are a consumer or you are an employee, it is the trust which is going to sustain the business. So according to me, trust is the most important, feature or word or characteristics. Then I said transparency. Be transparent, as I have pointed out earlier also. Be transparent with your employees. Tell them the situation of your company. Be upfront, listen to them, try to understand their problem also. Don't force them to come to the office if they are not comfortable. Don't force them to stay at home if they want to come to the office. So be transparent. So if you read Airbnb, few days back they have to unfortunately fire some of their employees, but the CEO of Airbnb has written a personal letter to each one of them, and it's available on social media and all. I think it's a fantastic, way, learning in itself. How
Yeah.
even if you have to take some bad decision, which is
Right.
inevitable, but
Right.
there has to be a process. There
Yes.
has to be a way. And
Yes.
third, I said technology. So
Mm-hmm.
as an entrepreneur, you have to include technology in big
Upgrade.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. In your business model, technology is going to play an important role. So
Yes.
if you're able to include technology, if you are transparent and trust, so I believe these three things will help you. Beyond this, I was going through some research. So two words came into, by MIT Sloan and BCG and all these big McKinsey and all. So agility, adaptability, and resilient. If you have these
Mm.
features, you need to be
Yes.
adaptable, you need to be agile, and you
Mm.
need to be resilient.
Yes.
You need to have these three things. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to survive in this kind of situation. So I hope they will learn some lesson out of it.
Definitely, definitely. These are golden keywords that you have pointed out, not just for the entrepreneurs, but for everybody. Trust, transparency, and
Technology.
technology. Technology being the wheel.
So, for example,
So,
the ecoholics have immediately,
yeah,
adopted this. Otherwise, we would have
immediately.
sat next to each other. But now, with the help of technology,
Yes,
we are
because
working.
we do not have the time to
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
So, and of course, gone are those days when technology used to be the constant factor. Now
yes.
it's the most prominent factor of
Most
all the
of
other factors.
true, true, true.
So, in any theory. So, of course. So, moving on to a very different question related to the government policy. In the last 2 weeks back, we saw the Atmanirbhar package, which was announced, and it is quite a package, definitely. And but the flip side of the Atmanirbhar package is that it takes a lot of chunk from the commercial banks, private banks. The money, of course, has to come from somewhere. So the banking sector, the financial sector of the country is the place or the center from which the money is going to be floated to the whole economy. Now, of course, we see there is no injection over here, but just the circulation of money. So, do you see a certain twin balance sheet issue that we were already, the economy was facing? The problem of non-performing assets being the most vital aspect of it.
Okay, good. So you started with the term Atmanirbhar Bharat, right?
Yes,
In fact,
Atmanirbhar
I
Bharat.
would like to dwell upon few minutes on this term, if you allow me to.
Sure, sure, of
Right?
course.
Because what happened that I believe this term has created some confusion.
Mhm.
So, as a student of economics, this Atmanirbhar, or if we translate into English, self-reliant. So,
Yes.
this could be a dangerous term. So,
Mhm.
we have seen the implication in 1970s when India adopted the path of self-reliance policy. But I believe, luckily, that this time, though the Prime Minister has coined this term or used this term Atmanirbhar, but the connotations are different.
Mhm.
He is not talking about the 1970s policy of self-reliance, where we have thrown out IBM from our country, we thrown out Coca-Cola from our country. Rather than he is saying, let us produce here, let us manufacture here, and let us
Mhm.
invite other countries also to manufacture in India. And
Mhm.
hopefully, this is my interpretation, that
Mhm.
and let's be self-reliant in terms of manufacturing, so that if the crisis comes, we should not be dependent upon. But that doesn't mean that those our WhatsApp messages don't buy Chinese product, So
Right.
we need to be careful, right?
Yes.
No country in this world has emerged as economic power on its own. We need everybody. It cannot be done within a country. No
Alone. True.
country has the resources. We are dependent on others. They are dependent on us, or for that matter, Tata bought Jaguar. So
Right.
we were happy that Tata is buying Jaguar, but it could be other way around also. Jaguar could have bought Tata also,
Mm.
right? So we should be
Mm.
prepared for that. So it cannot be that if Patanjali is exporting Ayurvedic product, then we are happy.
Yeah, but if
Right?
you're importing something,
then
true.
you're not happy. So it's a two-way process, right?
Mm.
And I hope when he talked about Atmanirbhar Bharat, he is probably referring to manufacturing.
Mm.
And since I started studying economics since 1998, my student days, till the time I finished my PhD, and then I started teaching. In the meantime, this manufacturing is one area which is a Ashley heel for Indian economy.
Mm.
And I have I have stressed upon this issue that manufacturing is the key for us. We are making a wrong policy. We are doing the wrong thing by focusing a little more on services. I'm not saying services is bad; they are good, but the kind of employment opportunities which we need to generate in this country cannot be done through service sector. It has to be through manufacturing sector. And the
Mhm.
history has taught us that no country in this world has become economic superpower through service sector. The route is always through manufacturing sector.
Right.
And unfortunately, we missed that. And from
Yes.
primary sector, from agriculture sector, we jump to the service sector.
Mm.
And in between thing manufacturing, we missed that completely. So the share of manufacturing has stuck 25-26% is last 30 years, 30
Mm.
years, 40 years, or whatever years. So
Yes.
I hope through this Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, we will start focusing on manufacturing and thereby giving employment opportunities to people and making our industrial base strong, and then moving to the next level. So in that way, I hope this Atmanirbhar Bharat should make progress. And coming back to your twin balance sheet,
Right.
so I'm sorry to bring to your notice
Yeah.
that it's not only twin balance sheet. I call it now four balance sheet problem.
Yes, yes, many, yes. The term is now expanded to four balance sheet. True.
And those four balance sheet in my jargon is first the balance sheet of Government of India, that is fiscal deficit.
Right.
Second, the balance sheet of India Incorporation, the corporate balance sheet, which you are referring to.
Right.
Third is the balance sheet of banks, NPAs, which you are referring to. And
Right.
the fourth is the balance sheet in international trade, export and import.
Yes.
So now our imports are going to be stuck because
Mm.
what we buy usually are less elastic, and
Mm.
whereas what we export is more elastic. So what
Yes.
is going to happen that you still need to buy oil, you still need to
Mm.
buy machinery, etc. So
Mm.
our imports are going to be more than exports, and you will have deficit in external current account. You will have
Mm.
deficit in government balance sheet, that is fiscal deficit. You will have
Mm.
deficit in because of NPA and banks balance sheet, and of
Mm.
course because of this lockdown and all, you will have losses in the company's balance sheet. So
Company's
more
balance sheet.
than twin, it is going to be a much bigger crisis, right?
Right.
But then,
Right.
okay, we have to live with this. We will try to solve the problem. Government is trying hard. Hopefully, they will make some more announcement, right?
Mm.
And by the way, what happened in the noise? There were few announcements, though
Mm-hmm.
they are not technically, comes under the fiscal stimulus package and all. They
Mm-hmm.
are for administrative announcement, but they are really important announcement. For example, Agriculture Produce Marketing Act (APMC)
Yes.
now it has been
Yes.
removed, right? And some labor laws changes are there. So they are very important announcement which are
Mm.
really going to help Indian companies. So hopefully things will improve, but these are trying times, and it's not easy to solve. And by the way, coming back to your NPA issue,
Yes.
see, NPA, these issues are issues in the normal circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are in ICU, so we have to forget about
You can't
NPAs.
think about skin rash or an eye problem.
Yeah, it's for next 6 months or a year, forget about NPAs. Let it be NPAs. Let it be fiscal deficit. Those are the
Very.
those are the theories for normal times.
Yes.
These are
Definitely. And 2020 will definitely be a year that everyone is going to
so there is a
remember.
Chinese proverb
Yeah.
that may you live in interesting time.
Okay.
So they have unleashed this proverb to all of
Yes.
us. We all are living in interesting time.
Very quite interesting times. And very correctly said by you, sir, that so why I ask this question is because there is always a lot of again social media coverage on these issues, which right now should be there a little, behind our backs, just because health crisis is again on such a high, and how to recover from such a crisis is more important than the sidelined issues. So, and of course, students also ask such questions because they must have, read these questions in the last question papers. There's so many competitive exams in our country, and there's always a history of question papers. So they'd ask such type of question papers, and these are the key terms in the question papers that they ask for. But you have correctly pointed out that the crisis is much bigger than we all are looking for. And that is why we should go into the depth of the crisis and try to find out the solutions, and not just retell the different key areas which were existing last in the last year
Yeah.
or in the last decade
Yeah.
also.
The
So
thinking is changed. The thinking has to change.
thinking has to change, and probably which makes me ask you about this very vital and very significant question. Not just a question, but something that you would opine upon is, um, what would you tell to a student who is a little in ambiguity and confusion, and might um, go in a wrong path because of the darkened times? I think it's very, very important, like personalities like you communicate through us and through many more social media platforms to students who are really aspiring to become something and to be the change and be the change makers, but in the darkened times are the test of patience that they get through. So what is your suggestion to these students?
Thank you that you are expecting me to answer this. So let me try my best. See, since last 2 months we are sitting at home.
Yeah.
Can we ever imagine that we could have done this?
Never ever.
Never, never ever. But we did.
Yes.
It means it is possible,
Right.
right? So we ourselves are inspiration. Who would have thought that a young person of 20 years of age, 25 years of age, 22 years of age, boy or girl, not going to college, not going to tuition, not going to coaching, not going to friends, not going to party, not going to club, not going to restaurant, not going to movie, but it is a fact and we did it. So what happened to us? Are we dying? No, we are still living. I think so. So I think we need to be a bit philosophical here also. We need to be a little bit philosophical. So it means there are things in life which can be avoided. I'm not saying don't do them. It means we can live without them, right? So let us understand. Let us appreciate the ability in our brain, in our mind, in our body to adjust as per the situation. And as I said, the winner will be the one who is going to be adaptable, who is going to be agilient, who
Agile.
is going to be who is going to be trustworthy, right? It's a dark time, but remember I told you a previous example in 1918, 50 lakh people died in India in Spanish flu,
Right.
and probably those who are not preparing for civil services, they don't even know that it happened in India,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So it's not that the world has not witnessed this. The world has witnessed First World War. The world has
Yes.
witnessed World War. The Japan has witnessed Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
Right.
The world has came out. I'm
Yes.
not saying that we should not underestimate the situation, but we
Hmm.
have to have a positive attitude. But we should
Right.
not be reckless.
Reckless. Hmm.
So what I'm observing, so in trying to prove your point, what you are showing to the world, I can go out, I can live
Hmm.
my life normally. Look, nothing is happening. Stupidity, right? So there is a fine balance between bravery and stupidity. So you need to
Right.
be brave, you you need to be alert, you need to be attentive, but you should not be stupid, right?
Yeah.
So try to inculcate these things and uh, try to be patient.
Hmm.
Patience is virtue, right? So
Yes.
hopefully things will pass and we'll have a new world, we have a new opportunities. It will come back. Everything will come back. Don't worry.
Yes, I definitely got your point, and I think the audience who the major part of the audience is students, so they should get this point that there is always a silver lining, and we just need to find
Yeah,
that
there's
silver
always
lining. in these dark times. And when you're talking about the scenarios of either world wars or other pandemics that the world has faced, whether it's Hiroshima, Nagasaki, or there's so many countless disasters that have happened onto the world, but people have risen, economies have risen, and if I think the vaguely that I can remember at the top of my mind is Anne Frank, who was a young 13-year or a 14-year-old girl who who has been known as the famous diarist, just because she penned down her memoir and a lot of
Yeah.
nice stories, and most of our childhood has gone reading her novels and reading her short stories, and she had seen those dark times of concentration camps. So I think
Yeah.
the dark times are always, it's like the business cycle that we teach to the students. There is
Yes.
going to be a trough, and then there is going to be a crest, and it's going to happen to everyone at every point of time. So, but of course, to rise and shine is something that every student must take from your words, and that is something that is the most important part of it. From this discussion, I would just like to take let's say a last question. Just talking about what is the need of the hour, and what everyone sitting at homes, and now that the lockdown is going to be soon reopening in the phase out manner in many cities, not just in India but also across the borders. One message that you would like to give to the audience?
Okay. So, right. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So, one message or caution rather, I should say. So the problem is what we are doing wrong now. We are equating virus with lockdown, right?
Huh.
Or the problem of virus with the lockdown. So if there is a
Yes.
lockdown, there is no virus. If there is no lockdown, right, it means we can go out. But please
Yes.
understand, closing of economy or opening of economy is not going to change anything in virus.
Hmm.
That's an independent problem. That's a health problem, right? So we need to
Correct.
be careful. The government has to give relaxation because people need to survive. Otherwise, people die because of hunger, because of all those things. So government has no other option but to open up the economy, and we also don't have any option but to go out and do our work. But
Right.
please remember that virus is still out there.
Right.
So please take all precaution, right? I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Oppo factory in Noida,
Right.
they were working, and suddenly one fine day they realized there are 25 people corona positive.
Oh my God.
So they have to
Hmm.
shut their factory. So this is going to be the pattern.
Hmm. Hmm.
Opening up doesn't mean that it will remain open. It is
Right.
quite possible one day it is open, next day your office is closed, next day your office is open,
Hmm.
alternate day your wife office is closed, and so on and so forth. So it
Right.
will be start, stop, start, stop.
Yeah.
So be ready for that.
Hmm. Right.
Okay.
Right.
And and please be careful. I want to narrate a small story if you give me
Sure.
two minutes,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So, there is the earlier we were talking about fear of virus and all.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it fear of virus, or maybe think we are thinking too much? So, in statistics, there is a concept of fat tail,
Okay.
right? So, what happened? That concept is little complicated, so I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to detail it.
Right.
But point is, it is always better be ready for eventualities. For example, if I ask you,
Mm-hmm.
Asabri, there could be a possibility that there is a bear hiding behind that cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So what is good for you? you have both the option: thinking, assuming there is no beer, or assuming there could be a beer. Which is good for you?
Definitely,
Which one?
there could be a bear, and I would definitely be inside.
Right? And be
Yes,
prepared for him.
prepare for
And
it.
then later on you came to know, Arey, yaar, there was no beer there. So what?
Mm,
But
yes.
but if you are choosing the other strategy, thinking that there is no beer,
And if
and
the bear
then
comes out,
if the beer comes,
that is a fantastic, fantastic story to actually, awaken all those who are
so please
still
remember
thinking
that there
that
is
there's no bear.
virus is there,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
it's better
Right.
to be careful with the virus rather than
Yes.
thinking there is no virus. It's
Right.
okay if there is no virus, fine. But if there is virus, then what will happen?
What will happen? Very true. Very true. That was indeed a very enlightening discussion with you, sir. We
Thank
are really highly elated that you could give your acceptance uh, to talk on our platform,
my
and
pleasure.
it is a humble beginning for all of us. And I believe the kind of enlightenment, positivity that you have given to not just us but the all the students and the audience who is listening to this video, it will definitely be something which they will remember for posterity, because some alertness, being trustworthy, the keywords that you have given, agility, it's very important to remember all these things, and also to take these things, absorb these things, and live with them. So I think that was a very nice discussion with you, sir. Concludingly, I would just like to ask you a few words for Ecoholics.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Asafri, for your kind words. And it is always my pleasure, especially if it is about students. So, if anything about the students, I am more than willing to come and more than willing to share my thoughts. And as far as Ecoholics is concerned, I think you guys are doing fantastic. I must be thankful to Mr. Sanat Srivastav. He approached me, and then I have gone through his work. He's doing fantastic work. I'll tell you why I'm saying so.
Yeah.
There is some bias there, right? So I can't be a perfect person. So my bias is toward economics.
Right.
So so the problem with economics is my subject, your subject, Sanat's subject. The problem with economics is everybody is expert on economics, but none of them understand economics, right? So very few of them, right?
Yes.
Because the topics are such that everybody can talk: health, poverty, population, employment, inflation, but the
Yes.
real nuances people don't know.
Right.
So I think you are doing a doyen service trying to explain the real nuances of economics to the people and on the topics which are really important. So I must congratulate you, your organization, and it's a fantastic efforts. And you guys are helping these two. And yeah, by the way, one more thing that you are also bridging an important gap. So as I said, I can be a little biased. So you can have a lot of physics faculty, chemistry
Yeah.
faculty, and coachings of philosophy and Hindi and history, political science
Yes.
for civil services, especially for UGC NET. But you
Right.
will rarely find coaching or help for economics.
Right. Yes.
So
We
nobody
have struggled for
dare
it
to
too.
enter into this. I know. So nobody dare to enter there, right?
Yes.
So in that way also I must congratulate you, and my support will always be there in any way, in any other way. If you find my support, I will be there. Please keep on doing this good work. My best
Definitely.
wishes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming on our platform and giving your insightful words. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. All the best and take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.